but I know everybody saw this. Some of you brought it up in the chat. So you got Fox, ESPN, and Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers is now the parent company of Turner. So that means TNT, True TV, that has all of that NCAA basketball stuff, right? The three of them announced last night they are launching a streaming platform this fall that will include offerings from at least 15 networks and all 4 major professional sports leagues, not even to mention all of the college sports. They're saying it's a one-stop shop app where you can view most sports, and most fans are going to be excited by this because, you got to pay for Peacock here, and you got to pay for that there, and you got to pay for this ESPN Plus there, right? They're putting them all under this platform, and that'll include games from the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, WNBA, NASCAR, college sports, the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournament, golf, tennis, FIFA, World Cup, all this stuff at one place. So, and we've already talked about the baseball signing, so we'll leave them alone, about Altuve and Kershaw. I wish, because we were sitting around here talking about this, everybody, before the show went on today. I wish I understood more. And look, they didn't in the press release give you a lot of information, so it's no surprise I don't know it. No surprise most people don't know it. About exactly how this is going to work. Because, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, I have in our house, for a long time we had DirecTV. Right? We got rid of that. YouTube is cheaper, and they had everything we really wanted to see.
Correct.
Okay? And It had less issues than a satellite and bad weather blowing the thing out. But I'm sitting here wondering, what is that going to look like? So let's just compare it to Netflix. Okay? Because it's just going to have an app. It's going to have a name. You download it. You pay for it, whatever that means. Does that mean from now on that if I want to watch, let's just say, since ESPN's part of this, let's say that, or say FS1, let's use tonight, for example. Xavier playing against Villanova, that's on FS1.
Right. Yep.
Okay? Is the only way I'm going to be able to watch that game is to buy that app? Or would you still be able to watch, would FS1 still be on YouTube?
They would still have to honor those contracts that they have with their cable company. So yeah, it will be on YouTube. It will be on whatever cable you have that has FS1 on it. But you could also see it via this new app. Now the interesting thing is what happens after those deals go kaput, right? What happens if FS1, Fox has a deal with YouTube TV that expires in 2026. It used to be that YouTube TV could gouge these people. Like, listen, this is the price to be whatever. Now they can go, hey, we've got our own platform. We don't need to be on YouTube TV anymore. And in 3-4 years, you might see the only place to get this is on this media app. But for the time being, not much will change other than that you could go to this one-stop shop to see all of this sports content. It will be interesting to see Fox and ESPN under the same roof, though.
Well, yeah, it's third. That's the ownership on this thing. And these are people who are very bitter rivals, especially ESPN and Fox. I mean, I don't know so much about, the other group, but there has been a serious rivalry, obviously, between those two companies for rights and going after rights and all this kind of thing for all the sports across the board, including the college stuff. But, I think collectively they all realize that as the rights fees continue to just explode. I mean, the rights to the NFL, you're talking billions of dollars that Fox is paying, that NBC is paying, that CBS is paying, right? And now all of a sudden you started to see recently, whether it's with the MLS, and here comes Apple, the one game a week on Amazon for the NFL. Whatever it may be, and Netflix has flirted around with some of this stuff. They have the money because of these subscription fees just pouring in. And so now all of a sudden these three guys, I think it's absolutely brilliant what they're doing.
Could we see the government step in and say this can't happen? Because if you think about it, if they put all of sports media under one umbrella, that's a monopoly. We saw this exact same thing. Disney bought Fox a couple years ago. Disney bought the rights to. They wanted to buy all of Fox. But the government said you can't take Fox Sports, you can't take Fox News because then you'll have a monopoly over everything. You can have all their IPs, all their shows like Fox, all their cable television shows and all that stuff, all their movie properties and everything like that. But you cannot have sports and news. So I wonder if the government might step in and say, "Hey, this is now slowly becoming a monopoly." I don't know.
I don't understand how any of it works. We were having a talk about this at my house the other day. My dad was like, "Yeah, so are we going to keep paying for cable? What's the plan here?" And I don't know what to say anymore because at some point I would like all of these things to be at least sports. Because if we're going to be honest, if you have cable, and maybe people have it and they're not sports people, but the only reason my family has cable is because of sports. Mm-hmm. If they're going to do this now, then I guess we just do that. But again, it's so confusing to me because there's so many other things. Like so we'll still have Amazon football on Thursdays. So Peacock will be under this new thing or no?
I don't know if
Peacock will not be under.
I was going to say
not be. Okay,
none of the stuff on CBS or NBC would fall under this umbrella. It is primarily what we know as Turner. So you got a lot of basketball, NBA especially.
Yep,
there,
TNT,
TBS,
TBS.
True TV when they get to the tournament. All the stuff that ESPN has, whether it's ESPNU, ESPN Plus, ESPN2,
All
ESPN
Disney.
News,
ABC.
You've got ABC under there. You've got Fox. You've got not Fox News. They're not a part of any of this. They're in a whole different category altogether. Along with the but also under this thing is Big Ten Network, FS1, FS2. So right now, and I mean, hell, it's so daunting and confusing. All of this stuff started, Nick Kirby points this out, and I was thinking the same thing. All of this has been going on for a number of years where people wanted the idea of a la carte, right? They wanted to get rid of their cable entirety because they're only watching maybe 7 channels, to back up what you're saying. Right?
They're tired of cable gouging them.
That's right. And so they're saying, okay, I want to be able to pick station 1, 5, 7, 11, 17, 27, and I just want to pay for those. We're getting closer and closer to that, and it's going to be interesting to see whether that is something at the end of the day is really good for the consumer.
Well, it's funny because, we started doing the a la carte thing, right? You pay for these certain, I just want to pay for Peacock. That's all the NBC stuff. Or I just want to pay for these channels and these channels. And they've decided, hey, why not put all the stuff a la carte? Let's put it all together. And it feels like we've just gone in one big circle back to cable, just now streaming. As I will admit, the competitor in me, like the competitiveness of me, likes that this is now going to basically cable, but it's streaming because for years, I've been on YouTube TV for 7 years now. 7 years I've been using YouTube TV, and since I've had it, people that have cable have sat in their ivory towers and going, "Oh, you guys are 30 seconds behind us." You streamers, you big dummies, why are you streaming? We got cable, we're better than you. And we're like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And now it's just coming all back down. Now you got to stream everything. Now you got to stream everything.
It's nonsense. This is all nonsense. I wish it was simpler, if I'm going to be honest.
But doesn't this simplify it, though? I mean, really?
It doesn't, though, because if we're still doing sports on Amazon and Peacock and Paramount Plus.
Yeah, good point.
If you're doing it all on everything there, it still doesn't change anything. If the only way to change is to have it literally all of them. I want CBS, I want NBC, I want Fox, I want everything on the same platform, on the same streaming device. I'll pay $25 a month and we'll call it cable. It's the same exact thing. That's what I would want. Because if you do this, I imagine this will be $20 a month. You're adding on $10, $11 a month for Peacock, $12 if you want the no ads or whatever that is. Amazon's an additional whatever, $11, $20. I don't know how much Amazon is. But yeah, it's eventually it just gets tired, and this seems tired. So maybe it will simplify it for a lot of people. But for me, I guess the answer is just to keep the cable because I'll still need NBC, I'll still need CBS.
Nothing will change in the short time.
No,
like until these media rights, till their deals change, nothing's going to change significantly other than the people that that do the a la carte things. Now it's kind of become all centralized for all those things. So that has changed. But like if it's still going to be on cable for the time being. At least I assume.
Yeah, I assume too, but I mean, there are a lot of details and a lot of questions that still need to be answered that have not been. I mean, this was just a statement. It was a release made by these three companies at the same time. They had quotes from each of the heads of the different networks. And so, you know, the real nitty gritty in all this, we're going to learn how this is going to play out probably in the next 72 hours. And even some of that is going to be theoretical. I mean, you know, this might happen, that might happen. We got this deal that runs out, another deal that runs out in that time frame. 3 years here, 4 years there, 9 years there. There's so many things at play here. But theoretically, it sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a good idea. We'll see until we know the price tag. I mean, you just threw out 20. I'm willing to bet, is ESPN plus $12 a month?
Yeah, it's about that.
All right, if it's 12, I can promise you this is at least double or triple that.
Well, like
because you're getting more than 10 times, really, the amount of content.
100%.
So, I mean, this ain't going to be cheap.
Well, it's going to be cheaper than what you're doing, right, at this current moment, which is all like you're getting all those places together for probably a cheaper price than individualized, right? You're basically getting a value deal here on all these things. As I said, it's kind of funny that we've circled back to basically what cable is. Like we've gone in a full loop. Now we're on back. I am interested to see if there is some hearings or like some gripe that the U.S. government has with this possibly being a monopoly, because what will happen is if they let it go through, and this is the one spot that you can watch all of your sports at some point, right? As I've said, nothing's going to change. They're still going to send it through cable, all that stuff. If they get together and power together, then they can act as a monopoly and they can charge whatever the heck they want, because where else the heck are you going to watch it, right?
Yeah.
They're the only ones that have it. So I wonder if the government will step in and say, all right, you can't do this. You guys got to be competing against one another.
The question is, would Spectrum be able to get it in this studio? That's the question.
Zero chance. 0.0 chance.